No, but there are some really good Animorphs books.
Judging the depth perception here is pretty awful. Like there's a shadow, which, is kind of mandatory for platformers that, use 3D, but it's kind of hard to judge, because it's very faint.
Yeah. I mean, here it's, pretty noticeable, but...
There we go.
You did it.
And I guess this is the game's interpretation of a Hork-Bajir.
Oh. I guess. I never could really...
Animorphs is one of those series where almost, there'll be that book that just introduces all of these one-off alien species that never get mentioned again. And that's because Kay Applegate, along with her husband, Michael, wrote most of the beginning Animorphs books. Up until there's about 54 books in total. She wrote up to about the 22nd book. After that, until the last 10 books, all of the books in this series are ghost-written by other authors. Meaning there's a lot of, inconsistencies with a lot of the continuity, particularly in just some of the different species that are introduced.
Were the Davis books ghost-written, or was that...
Yeah, David books?
Yeah.
The David books, no, were all Kay Applegate.
Okay.
It was the original author. David does come back later into the series. Well, I'm talking about David. Everybody probably doesn't even know who David is. David
is a dick.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
Read the books for yourself. The David trilogy is really, really good.
Yeah, one of the best in the series, and that's books 20 to 22. The Discovery, the Threat, and the Solution.
Yeah, it's amazing how far Davis goes in that trilogy.
David. It's not Davis.
Oh, sorry.
Don't be thinking about your fanfiction, Zach.
Not it. It's David, sorry.
Speaking of fanfiction, Rachel Marco, all the way.
I almost said Jake and Rachel. I was like, no, they're cousins, so...
Yeah.
It's a good thing I remembered that before saying it. Ooh. Otherwise, that would have had some very creepily implications about what kind of character I am.
Okay. Okay. Thank God.
Yeah, what else is there to say about...
The platforming has the same problem that those of you that are familiar with the Sonic franchise, the problem that Sonic 06 had with its controls is that they're very precise.
Oh.
You have to be very careful with some of the jumps.
At least it doesn't send you that far back. It is also very instantaneous respawning.
Kind of generous about her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can see some of this platforming being very kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
Come on, there we go. Thankfully, most of the time I'm just using the D-pad for left and right when I'm going to those left and right sections, so the Z-axis doesn't screw me up.
What the fuck? What was that? Pop, block, and drop.
Well, Marco is the comedy relief side of the group, so I guess he has to be all goofy in this very cartoony adaptation of the Animorphs.
Alrighty then.
You have to be careful, because there's a lot of enemies, especially later on, that will just keep smashing at you.
I never could imagine what a Hork-Bajir, or frankly what a lot of the animals could look like, but I don't think a Hork-Bajir really looks like that.
With a lot of the enemies, it's all a matter of just waiting for them to strike at you and then hitting them when their guard's down. But most of the time, as you saw, I just sort of spam it and I do fine. Super Mario Galaxy, what are you doing here?
It's not the Wii yet.
You mean the Nintendo Revolution, Zach?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That was the original name for it.
I kind of wish it was that, just to make it easy.
I would not, because it wasn't much of a revolution. Like, the graphics on that system, well, technically it didn't have much over the GameCube. But the motion controls, yeah, I guess you could say that's a revolution.
Well, I think it's a better name than the Wii.
Yeah.
I guess, but I guess that's how they made it aim at families.
Yeah.
And we have the first of the energy crystals that were shattered all over reality.
Ah, so that's how we got our plot.
Auto-saving in a PS1 game.
And do not disturb!
Do not disturb the memory card.
Okay. What time are we looking at? 17 minutes. Okay, we're doing the C. Now, you heard the music in the first stage. It had this sort of atmospheric feel that sort of gave an impression of the environment. This game has a really good soundtrack for its variety, but wait for the tonal shift in this level.
We're not going to hear it, but Brandon has shown me the song before. I won't say anything about it. I'll wait.
I want to listen to it, but because I never heard it, so I never listened to it, so I don't.
Sure,
know.
let's go with Rachel. It doesn't really matter in this level because you're not actually going to see the character. They're entirely in morph for the whole level. So yes, this is the second kind of level you get in Shattered Reality, the forward animal levels. You get there's dolphins. There's a part later on where you have to play as a mosquito. I believe there's a squirrel later on.
Squirrel.
I believe you have to crawl on the ground in that one. But yeah.
Oh, I would assume so.
This music track, you know what? I love the tune of it, but all it makes me think of is like Visor 3 with all 4 of his Andalite paws on a surfboard, flying across the ocean, going, "Surf's up, Andalite bandits!"
But yeah, Alec, if you want to imagine this song, I'll show it to you after the part's done. Imagine like the most generic surfer theme.
Oh god.
It's as amazing as you're imagining.
Wailing guitars.
Oh. Now I really want to hear it now.
Honestly, the soundtrack is one of the most memorable and cool things about this game. And these levels aren't that bad. They really don't give me that much trouble.
Is there a way to stop, or are you always going?
Yeah, you can let go of the button and stop.
Oh no, you got caught in the net. Now you know how
Oh.
the fish feel.
Well, Animorphs is a series with a lot of environmental messages being written by an environmentalist.
Ick. Environmentalists.
Mm-hmm.
Caring about the environment, our oxygen,
Our trees, they give us oxygen.
our O2. Not O1. We're not good enough for O1 yet.
What is the purpose of those fans? Why are they just floating in the air?
I think Visor 3 just...
Don't!
Oh.
Oh, you got eaten by a giant clam as a dolphin.
I don't have any peanuts! Leave me alone!
I didn't take your damn pearl.
But it's free day! Ah yes, the late 90s. Which was also when the Animorphs TV show was out.
Yeah, the Animorphs is like a 90s thing, right? Because they referenced like Arnold Schwarzenegger in like one of the books.
They do. And then they recently rebooted the Animorphs books, and they took out all of those references to other... to basically any 90s pop culture references, they just removed from the books. And it's... kind of takes a lot of the bite out of Animorphs, because, well, if you're going to take all of those references out of the books, and you're going to, like, update Animorphs for modern times, you don't do that, because then you might as well go all the way, because if cell phones existed in the Animorphs universe, if we had cell phone cameras, the Yeerks would be found out within, like, the first day of their invasion. So Animorphs would have to be completely rewritten, which is why Animorphs works in its 90s setting. You can't take that out of it.
Hashtag Yeerk invasion.
Yeah.
Hashtag twerking it.
So
Hashtag
yeah,
swag.
we're going to stop here. This is another full level like the last one, so it's going to go on for a bit.
Okay.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed our rambling, telling you stuff about Animorphs you probably already knew. I'm Brandon.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Alec.
And tune in next time.